Like an energy-sapping dogfight, the Emirate tussle in good old Kano continues. Whereas the Federal High Court in Kano has set aside all steps taken by the Kano State Government to repeal the Kano Emirates Council Law, the state government itself has insisted that the embattled 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi, remains the rightful occupier of the throne. The coming days are very interesting ones for all of us. Let's give you an update on the story. Let's go there.
The Kano State Government has directed the State Commissioner of Police to remove the deposed Emir of the 8 metropolitan local government areas from the government property where he is trespassing, as government has already concluded arrangements for the general reconstruction and renovation of the property, including the demolition and reconstruction of the dilapidated wall fence with immediate effect.
Biko, the coming days will be very interesting for Kano politics.
Yes, it is. The truth is, the court did not set aside the law. So it's important that our viewers understand that this is not what really transpired.
Okay.
Let me read what the judge said. Justice Abdullah Liman, who has just been elevated to the Court of Appeal. Justice Liman said, I hereby order that every step taken by the government is hereby nullified and becomes null and invalid, and that this does not affect the validity of the repealed Emirates law, but actions taken by the governor, which include assenting to the law and the appointment of Sanusi. I have listened to the audio of the governor both in Hausa and English after assenting to the law, and I'm convinced that the respondents are aware of the order of maintaining status quo, pending the hearing and determination of the motions on notice in the court. I think it's a serious matter for anyone to flout the order of the court and go scot-free. So the judge merely reinforced his earlier order, which was for status quo ante to be maintained. Now, because there was an order of the court handed down on the 23rd of May, the governor issued appointment letter reinstating Muhammadu Sanusi as Emir of Kano on the 24th of May. So you cannot say that you are not aware that the court gave an order on the 23rd of May. So you shouldn't have proceeded to issue that letter appointing him as Emir. So what the court simply did was to reinforce his earlier order. And in doing that, the court made it clear that where you go ahead to take actions in contravention of an earlier order of the court, whatever you have done becomes invalid.
Null and void.
Yes, but the court also, the judge also refused to grant the prayer of the applicant to have that law nullified. You know, because that will come later. The judge also affirmed that status quo should be maintained. So where some newspapers reported that he set aside the law, it is wrong. Because the judge even emphasized that it was not going to grant the prayer of Aminu Ado Bayero to have the law quashed. So there is no reason to say that, okay, the law had been quashed. Now, what the government then did was to also embark on a misapplication, a misreading of the judgment. Apparently for selfish reasons. The court, the judge, the state government is telling people that Sanusi remains the Emir that even that was affirmed. The court did not affirm that. As far as the court is concerned, status quo ante must be maintained. So that point has to be affirmed. And I think Mark should go and take away this lower third because it misleads the viewer. That is not what transpired in court.
Yeah.
It is clear that when a judge gives an order, the judge expects that order to be obeyed.
Yeah.
You do not get the reliefs that you are seeking from a court when you will not get the relief you are seeking from a court when you clearly flout its directive. People like Rotimi Amechi will remember what happened in 2019.
Okay.
When it went ahead with the primaries of the APC against the directive of the court that they should allow other stakeholders to be part of the process.
Yeah, yeah.
APC lost completely in that state. I mean, you recall now. Every step they took amounted to nothing. There was nobody who contested the election on the platform of APC that became anything.
Yeah.
Because you can't build something on
nothing.
The order of the court is clear. I don't know where we are going in our country, where some governors or some individuals want to cherry pick the orders of the court that they will obey. And I think that I've emphasized this point before on this program, that when people say the Federal High Court has no jurisdiction on chieftaincy matters, they fail to realize that once an applicant comes before the Federal High Court, seeking to get his fundamental rights affirmed, at that point, the Federal High Court can assume jurisdiction.
Okay.
And there are examples that I can give. Sanusi, the Emir, who was dethroned and then brought back, went before the Federal High Court in Abuja to seek for the validation of his fundamental human rights when he was banished to Toto in Nasarawa State. He won. Why didn't Sanusi go before a Kano High Court?
Okay.
Oh, it's federal.
Why didn't he go? You see, and some lawyers are deliberately informing Nigerians. Once the applicant asks for the affirmation of his rights, at that point, and even the Court of Appeal has validated that already, at that point, it can assume jurisdiction. You will see that as the case goes on, look at the judgment that Justice Amobeda, look at his ruling the other day. He never went into chieftaincy matters.
Okay.
Yes, Justice Simon Amobeda, the other judge handling this case in Kano, he never went into chieftaincy matters. He dealt with the matter of the fundamental rights of Aminu Ado Bayero, and he said that the Kano governor has no right to order Aminu's arrest. Because Aminu, as far as is concerned, just as it happened with the case of Mustafa Jokolo, Buhari's ADC as a military head of state.
Yeah.
The court believed that Jokolo, who was deposed by the former governor of Kebbi State, Adamu Alero, the court affirmed that Jokolo never got fair hearing. People will say, governors have the right to remove emirs, remove traditional rulers. No. Those rights also have limitations. The power of the governor also has limitations. Because the court ruled that Jokolo was wrongly deposed, and the court said he should be reinstated. Look at the district head who was also deposed by former governor of Kaduna State, Erufai. He's been ordered to be reinstated. Wow. So you cannot simply say, A governor has the power to remove traditional ruler. There are some conditions that you have to meet.
Okay.
Once you meet those conditions,
because, but as you said a while back, in law, jurisdiction is key.
is key. And when I'm saying that, it is not, people can't simply say, oh, Federal High Court has no jurisdiction.
Yeah.
There are conditions under which the Federal High Court can assume jurisdiction in a chieftaincy matter.
A trial judge knows that himself.
Yeah, but we are not even talking about, we are talking about lawyers and some people misleading us that, oh, once it comes to this, and I've given the example, people can fact check me. Go on Google, you will see that Sanusi defeated the Ganduje administration in a Federal High Court in Abuja.
Wow.
Oh, even in a chieftaincy matter, of course, he was banished, and he said, no, banishing me amounts to taking away my rights to free movement.
Yeah.
And he won. They even awarded the cost against the state government. So in this case, the Aminu Bayero insists that he was not heard. So when he brought the issue, you will see that fair hearing is part of
the process.
Yes. So on that basis, the Federal High Court can assume jurisdiction because the issue of enforcement of one's rights was involved. So on that score, they can assume jurisdiction. And there are cases that have been decided on that matter. We are not lawyers, but we try to go over some of these cases. We deny ourselves sleep just to be
because
for knowledge.
Facts are sacred.
Yes, and that's why I said, fact check me. Sanusi defeated Ganduje in a Federal High Court.
Okay.
It's clear. You can fact check.
Charles, you know, when Otto von Bismarck, the first ruler of Germany, said, science is not politics is not an exact science. People who know say it's behavioral.
Behavioral, exactly.
So, good. Politicians have a duty to allow sleeping dogs allow peace to reign.
Yes.
Because they can.
But they can't. Again, politicians always have their co-travelers in professionals. For instance, Haruna Dederi, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Kano State, ought to know. I mean, he is not a politician in the manner of speaking. But he himself is saying that he himself
is a politician by association.
Well, I want to restrict myself. I want to restrict myself to him as a lawyer who, of course, has risen to that level of professionalism. Now, he himself has decided to interpret the status quo ante that the court has given. Or he is saying that what the court has given the government victory. The status quo ante is that they should maintain the current status right now, which is the status that is ante right now. So would you say that's also a politician? I mean, in terms of learning. So he's a learned man. He's a learned man.
See, let me say, you see, the court gave an order on the 23rd of May. That 23rd was the day somebody got up in plenary, the Kano
last of Assembly. Yes.
That day was the day they had the first reading.
Second reading, and then committee stage, and then third reading.
This thing, committee of the
whole house, and then
governor still signed
the same day.
That same day. But court proceeding was on that same day, and a decision was made by the judge to stop to stop the process.
Yeah, the procedure, exactly.
Now, the following day, they went and issued. So, if you go back to show you that the Attorney General of Kano knows that he's joking, if you go back, you look at the time when that order that this judge has simply reinforced was handed down.
Yeah, but again,
it was handed down. It was handed down before the man was
given a letter.
Appointment,
exactly.
Because that one came the next day.
Yes.
So if you are talking about status quo, it has to do with the time that judge issued
exactly
order at that time, and that was 23rd.
I understand.
So we know that, look, once this thing happened, some people will try to mislead Nigerians. Remember what happened when the CTC of the Court of Appeal decision on Kano,
yes.
the certified true copy,
yes.
There was a clerical error.
I recall that's exactly.
Giving victory
yes.
to
for that time.
To
this other guy was
now there is a famous lawyer who came out to say, oh, what that means is that it was Abba Kabir that won. And I sat here, I said, okay, you are saying that what was said in open court, and that CTC, everything, except for that one line, every other thing pointed to
exactly to the
victory for Gawuna. Now, you now said, as a lawyer who is now in the business of simply misleading Nigerians, you now said, oh, that means that this is the person that won. I now sat there, I said, okay, let us see whether they will not appeal. If they believe that they were the ones who won and they fail to appeal, they will be shocked.
But
immediately, Olani Pekun does not joke.
Yeah, you know some of this exactly.
Olani Pekun knew he was Abba Kabir's lawyer. He knew that that thing was merely an error. He refused to be misled by a lawyer who was saying that the CTC, that error in the CTC means that this person.
Oh, come on. He was trying to interpret it the way they went
quickly to go and appeal. He knew that appealing had a time ceiling.
Yeah, time
he rushed to go and appeal. Why didn't
they
rely on that error and say, okay, we have won?
Politicians, they have co-travelers everywhere. So
gentlemen, time is the master.
Okay.
So, all right. Ours is to mold opinion, and I'm sure the decision makers are watching and listening to us.
And do the needful.
Oh, yeah.